Alright, if you tell this story well, you get to eat your food, Gene. I want to talk about a little experience I had on a morning run. As I've mentioned, life's been a little bit crazy for me, and especially over the past few days. Ever since I went home, things have been a little bit woo, and I've been really into emotional healing as of late, and I keep feeling like after I overcome one thing that I thought was the end, another thing pops up. I said I was just gonna go on a run today because I've been feeling lethargic, and went on my run. And where I live, there's this beautiful trail called Breeze Trail. It looked like it went out into nature, so I went in. On this run, I just started thinking. I just started going through little issues I've been having. You know, getting that spiteful talk. Eventually, came out to a clearing, and it was a beautiful lake. And I found this one spot that had some rocks, so I started skipping stones. And it had a little piece of land that went out into the water where you could stand. And I just kind of took a second and said, if there's anything out there that can help me, please help me. I meditated there and took in everything. At a certain point, I felt this other voice enter my head, and it was kind of counseling me through these newfound emotional things that I was getting over. And this wasn't just like oh, you should do this, you should do that. No. Like, this voice was very in-depth. Whatever this thing was that I invited, it knew its stuff. Once I picked up this voice, I just really zoned in on my head and just started running. Honestly, it felt like my body was on autopilot. I wasn't really feeling anything. Sometimes I would snap out of the meditation and just come back to where I was running and realize that I'd run like a mile without even, comprehending it. And this thing seriously helped me through these emotional issues. I went through the 5 stages of grief on some of these so fast, like ridiculously fast. And this is good because it's a lot faster than before. I remember when all this craziness started, it took me over a month to go through the 5 stages of grief on one issue, just one thing. And I got through a handful of them in a span of less than an hour. And I want to say this was a spirit or an entity that was correlated with the nature around there. As I left Breeze Trail in this beautiful forested area, I started to head back towards my apartment. I ran through the big football stadium by where I live, and I just became more and more surrounded by man-made buildings and less by nature. And as I did that, I noticed the voice went away a little bit more and more. As I went to my apartment, it was barely there. It was a short but beautiful experience. And this is why I want to say that given you are going through things, go out into nature. The last time that I had serious issues that I realized were holding me down like crazy, I ran and went out into nature, and I felt great after. Going through it was rough, but I felt amazing afterwards. And this is partially because nature does a lot. I've been stuck inside my house for probably like the past 2 days, and I've been getting some cabin fever. I've been trying to go through my issues, but I find that it just gets stuck. It's like a crammed feeling. And I really wanted to go outside, so last night I made the promise to myself that I'd go out today. There's just something different about being outside. It's something it's pure, it's fresh, I know I'm sounding like that tree-hugging hippie right now. But I promise, take some time, sit out in the sun, just lay in some grass. Okay, 3rd try. I want to talk about a vision I had while meditating in my next video because it's interesting. It was interesting on how I worked with a chakra, which, if you know me, I was very into the chakras, but I got into them the wrong way. I had a misunderstanding. And this is one of the first real instances I've had that I can say, yes, for sure, I worked with a chakra and a block came out. It was a really phenomenal experience, and hopefully that's the next video. Yeah. Peace. Hope you guys enjoyed, and remember, nature's got your back.